We've been bringing you news of Sean O'Casey's The Plough and the Stars, now running at the National Theatre on the South Bank. Now, this is an epic production and tickets can be booked on 020 7452 3000 or online at nationaltheatre.org.uk. Now, cast member Tom Vaughan-Lawlor is on the line to talk to me now. Tom, a very good morning.
Morning to you.
Tom, nice to speak with you. Now, Tom, you have an enviable CV. You were recognised as the character Nige in RTE's One Love Hate. You've been in the BBC's excellent Peaky Blinders and also a biopic of Charlie Hyde, together with several films. Now, you're also classically trained, therefore, does it excite you to be back at the National Theatre performing on stage once again in one part of Sean O'Casey's great Dublin trilogy?
Yeah, I was last there a few years ago doing O'Casey's June and the Paycock, so it's very interesting as an actor to see his transition, his development as a writer from June and the Paycock to Plough and the Stars. There's Plough and the Stars it's kind of epic in scale in terms of June and the Paycock is slightly more domestic drama, whereas June and the Paycock is very much a kind of a kaleidoscope, or a great landscape of the rising and its effects on the people of Dublin.
Right. Now, The Plough and the Stars has been it's been much performed, and no better time than in the century of the year of the Easter Rising. Now, the plot deals with Dublin residents who lead their lives at some distance from where all the rebellion is taking place. Now, which character do you play, and who else can we expect to meet?
Well, I play a character called Willie Clitheroe, whose nickname is the Covey. He's where it starts off is in this tenement house with this kind of motley crew of tenement dwellers, and it's about their own kind of personal lives butting up against each other, while outside the tenement, Dublin is brewing and coming to a head in terms of revolution. And as the play moves on, you have those two worlds colliding. And what's incredible about what Casey does, he starts the play in the tenement house, then he moves on to a bar, and then he moves out into the street. So all the time his optic is getting bigger, and the landscape expands, and his dealing with humanity and his dealing with the effect of war on the poor really comes into sharp focus.
Right. Now, the production is co-directed by Howard Davis and Jeremy Hearn.
Yeah.
What does their approach bring to it?
Well, I think it's really valuable, actually, to have... we're an all-Irish company, and it's very valuable to have an English with Jeremy and Welsh with Howard, directors with fresh eyes on it, because I think... because it's such a famous play for Irish audiences and for Irish actors, we have, I think, perceived notions of how things should be done. That just comes with the baggage of having seen so much about Casey, whereas their kind of perspective is much clearer in seeing the play almost like a new play and going, okay, what's happening here, and being much more kind of, I think in one way, being more forensic, because they don't come with any historical or cultural baggage, and they can be much more, I think they can be very rigorous with us, because they have slightly outsider eyes in terms of culturally, and that's been incredibly refreshing. And they've both pushed us in the direction of finding new things with the characters in the play, which I think will play out in how it's received.
Right. Now, Sean O'Casey's great canon of Irish drama is well known. Now, The Plough and the Stars, one of his early plays, that was actually first staged in 1926 in the Abbey Theatre. Do you think his work still resonates today, and will we see this evidence at the National? Yeah,
I think the reason why, I mean, there are many reasons why it's a great play, and one of the reasons why it will always be topical is because, unfortunately, there will always be war, and it's about the displacement of people in war, the displacement of the poor in conflict, which is as relevant today as it has ever been, and will always be, unfortunately. And so I think his dealing with the poorest and how they have no say in one way in how a conflict is played out, only in how they deal with it and their own dignity and their own survival instincts, and how they look after each other in conflict. And that's what brings the great humanity and the great hope in a play like this. For all its great tragedy and sadness, it's also, I hope, it's a play about in the face of great horror and great conflict that humanity can maintain dignity.
Right. Now, there are a dozen very different and vivid characters, but with 43 performances up until the 22nd of October, how will you manage to keep each evening fresh, shall we say? And how's the audience reaction? Is that a big factor?
Yeah, I think we've a really great company of actors, and I think with a play like this that is so brilliantly written and so rich that there'll always be new things to find, new things to discover. And I think your job as an actor is to make sure that every night you're giving as much as you can for every new audience, and making sure the play is seen and heard and is as clear and lands as cleanly as you can make it for the audience to get the full benefit of what O'Casey's trying to say. So I think that's very important and very clear in our mind every evening going on stage. But it's also interesting for an English audience to see this part of Irish history, especially in this centenary year. And it's a great thing that the National have decided to do, because it's such a big, big play. Only a theatre really as big as the National Theatre can in one way take this on with all the kind of staging complexities that it demands and the size of the cast. It's great. It's so wonderful that the National have decided to revive the play.
Indeed. Now, of course, in the early 20th century, The Playboy of the Western World by John Millington Synge, that brought out protesters, and this was also true, I believe, also of The Plough and the Stars, with the audience and even some cast members actually expressing disapproval and rioting, which actually at the time, you probably heard the story of W.B. Yeats, who famously said the audience were shaming themselves and did not appreciate Irish genius.
Yeah.
No doubt you'll be happy things have moved on a little since then.
Well, you never know. We might have to end up in a scrap again. The same story is Barry Fitzgerald. Barry Fitzgerald from The Quiet Man. He was playing flute at the time. And I think on the fourth performance, some people got up on stage and Barry McGovern gave someone a right hook, knocked them back into the auditorium. Hopefully it won't happen again, but you never know. We're all ready for it in case it happens. Why not?
Excellent. Now, I'm aware that you're the recipient of many awards and that all connected with this offering will make it a memorable one. Tom, I wish you every success. Once again, to book, call 020 7452 3000 or online nationaltheatre.org. Sean O'Casey's The Plough and the Stars. It runs through the 22nd of October. Tom, thanks a million for joining me.
Thank you so much.
A real pleasure and good luck with it. Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.